Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very exciting Norwegian Cruise Line webinar. My name is Anna. I'm an Industry Relations Manager here at CLIA, and I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. This webinar will run about 40 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we'll get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, which is CLIA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Glenn Rossi. Glenn is Vice President of National Accounts and has been with Norwegian Cruise Line for 10 years in a variety of roles supporting the North American travel agent channel. Currently, he oversees national accounts in a role that supports the largest group of consortia accounts and home-based travel agents. Glenn has always worked in the travel industry after being born and raised in Chicago, where his dad worked for United Airlines. The urge to stay involved in the travel industry has always been prevalent, which led to jobs with WorldSpan, Orbitz.com, and Travelport after finishing college. He currently resides in Coconut Grove, Florida with his wife and 15-year-old son, and while not working, he enjoys sports, reading, cooking, and traveling with his family to destinations that are chosen by following their stomachs. Good food, they travel. And with that, take it away, Glenn.
All right, thank you, Anna. And yes, I'm going to try to make this exciting because I know everybody's been sitting through probably webinars and conference calls and Zoom meetings, and this has been kind of an ongoing sort of thing over the last several months, but hopefully I'll take some time today to share some information that you're not previously aware of, or help expand on some things that you may have heard about Norwegian and some of the things that we're doing as we wait to get our ships back in the water. So as Anna mentioned, I am Vice President of National Accounts, and I've been with Norwegian for about 10 years, and here's some of the things that we're going to talk about. I've got some information on the Healthy Sail panel, which is a panel we put together of some leading experts to talk to develop our safety and health protocols. Also talk about some operational updates, some of the things that we do for client engagement, focus on Q3, what we're looking at, and then just a recap, and we'll have some time for questions at the end. So if you haven't heard already, we've developed a Healthy Sail panel that we announced a couple of weeks ago. And I think one of the more exciting components of this is the fact that we're actually collaborating with one of our competitors. So it's more of a co-opetition here with Royal Caribbean, and putting together a Healthy Sail panel with some leading experts in science and public health. We've got 11 globally recognized experts. They've got fantastic knowledge in science and public health, and great backgrounds in medical practice, research, public health, infectious disease, biosecurity, hospitality, and maritime operations. So I think one of the most critical components of getting people feeling comfortable about sailing again is really understanding what we are going to be doing to ensure that any guest that gets on board is going to be healthy and safe. And by putting together a panel of experts that have a lot of background and knowledge in these types of things, it's going to help us get alignment on really what needs to be done to make people feel safe and comfortable when they're sailing. So if you haven't, take a look at some of the press releases. You might have seen Dr. Scott Gottlieb on a variety of different morning shows over the past several months, talking about the impact of coronavirus and what's been happening. But he's a fantastic kind of head, along with Governor Michael Levitt of this panel. So you'll be seeing more of that going forward. So our operational updates. So with everybody always asks, when do you think you're going to be sailing again? And we had just announced that, or just previously announced, the suspension of sailings through September, and ultimately the return to service is dependent on CDC approval. So working with our Healthy Sail panel, developing the plans and policy and procedures, we will be providing that information to the CDC, hopefully sometime in August. And our back to sail our return to service plan is really going to be limited to the number of ships, spread over a period of months. So it's not like all of a sudden, if we, can start sailing in the beginning of December, you're going to see all 17 ships in the water at the same time. The assumption is going to be that our capacity is going to be limited. Future sailings may, show as closed or sold out. Just because we're trying to really limit the capacity, because at this point we just don't know what those restrictions are going to be. And then any onboard requirements or special guidelines that are going to be included, we will be obviously communicating to our guests and our travel partners prior to any active startup. So the important part here, I think, is just communication, making sure that everybody out there, all of our travel partners, all our guests are familiar and comfortable with the policies and procedures that we put in place. I also want to talk briefly about the status of our refunds. So as we go through these suspensions, we are we have an online form that guests can choose to fill out if they want to get a cash refund. If they choose an FCC in lieu of a cash refund, we would provide those almost immediately now. So when you look at the current state of refunds, we had a backlog that we just about hit the 90-day mark for when those refunds came out based on the initial suspended sailings in March. Now we're getting closer to a 60-day refund time frame. So as we go through this latest round of suspensions that went through September 30th at this point, we are looking at hopefully a 60-day refund period for people to get their funds back. And then also we made some changes to our commission and how we're paying out commission. We are still protecting commissions on anything that has been paid in full. And then any commissions that are on bookings that were utilized or made within FCC, anything that's either current or active, so any current or active FCC bookings for sailings through the end of October will have been paid either last week or this week. We're kind of getting the final stages of those payments out. And then any commissions for current and active FCC bookings for anything November forward will be paid on sailed reservations. So at the time the reservation sails. And the reason we do that is because we have changed with our peace of mind policy. We're finding a lot of people who are canceling and rebooking and canceling and rebooking and canceling and rebooking. So we just want to make sure that we get the commissions paid out at the time that that last sailing actually occurs. So now I want to talk a little bit about client engagement and some of the information that we've been able to put together regarding consumer sentiment over the past 8 weeks or so. Every couple weeks, we've been doing a little longer than that, but every couple weeks we send out a pulse check to a group of Norwegian Inner Circle members. And the latest one that came back at the end of June that we have the data back on, we had 400, a little over 400 respondents on it. 70% were past cruisers, 21% had cruised with a competing cruise line, 9% of them were non-cruisers. But the interesting component of that is the fact that half of all respondents indicated that they were going to take a vacation before the end of 2020. Some of them even had multiple trips planned. And so while the majority of those, as you probably already know, based on conversations you've been having with your guests, the majority are considering driving to their vacation destination, a significant portion of that also considered flying. And then if we do have cruising available by the end of the year, before the end of the year, a third of those would even go on a cruise. So it's it's good to know that consumer sentiment is, people really want to be able to go out and take vacations. I think a lot of them probably had their vacations canceled due to everything that's been happening and the lockdown and quarantine and all this. So people are excited and they want to dream a little bit about, hey, when is this next time I want to be able to go on vacation? So another interesting thing is the fact that COVID-19 has not impacted what people consider to be their vacation length. So the majority are still planning on taking a vacation of at least 6 to 7 days. So what are we seeing as far as what people are booking? Obviously, 2021 and 22 itineraries are what people are looking for. We do have people anticipating any strong promotion. So we just recently had a balcony upgrade promotion, as well as a promotion highlighting prepaid service charges. That did really well also. Some of the objections that we're getting are obviously a lack of confidence when cruising will resume. So, people are seeing and guests are saying that the cruise lines are still continuing to suspend sailings, and now I think they're just kind of sitting on the sidelines a little bit, wanting to see when those first cruise lines are beginning to sail. And I do, also I think the fact that Europe is starting to open up a little bit more, and I think AIDA is their first sailing is next week. We've got some river cruising, I know, that's starting to take place in Europe as well. So that's a very promising sign. So who is booking? So when we take a look at who's actually booking right now, it's baby boomers, Gen X, millennials. That still remains consistent as far as a percentage of people who are booking cruises. We do see some of the younger travelers as the age is dropping slightly, which is interesting. And then, the new and repeat mix is consistent, which is good. So, consistent with, let's say, pre-COVID, as far as the percentage of new guests that are booking, new to cruise, as well as people who have cruised before or cruised on Norwegian before. Lots of activity in Alaska and Europe for 2021, and I think the main reason for that is the fact that people had those vacations canceled for this year, and they're taking their FCCs and their bonus FCCs and just booking for next year as well. And then our primary source markets are continuing to do well. So obviously the Northeast, where we have Manhattan as a cruise terminal, Boston as a cruise terminal. We're seeing a lot of activity up there, Florida, the Southeast, as well as the West Coast. People are booking Caribbean, they're booking Europe, they're booking Alaska, they're basically booking everything at this point. Anything that we have out there. The only difference that we're seeing is our booking window has extended. And I think that's for obvious reasons. The close-in stuff is just not sailing right now, but we are seeing Alaska and Europe booking 13 to 15 months out. And my assumption is that can be interpreted to be guests who have, as I mentioned, rebooked their canceled 2020 sailings into 2021. And just a little bit about how we're engaging with our clients. So, Norwegian Latitudes is our past guests program. We're sending emails out to past guests, and it seems, that those Norwegian Latitudes emails are getting the highest open rates and booking attribution. So people who are actually clicking through that email to either look at what's available on ncl.com. Hopefully you're seeing a little bit of that as well, because in everything that we have out there and all the emails and all the marketing that we do include our call to action to our travel partners. So driving leads to all of our travel partners out there, is a critical part of what we're seeing now, as well as once we get return to sailing. And then promotional emails with an urgency in the subject line. So putting a call to action in there, and you can see on the top of this banner here where it says the offer ends in 11 hours, 4 minutes, 0 seconds. So having a specific call to action seems to be doing better as well. When we have a variety of cliffs out there for our promotions is always helpful, because it gets people to hopefully take out their credit card and put that deposit down. So you can see we're also doing some direct email as well. I'm sorry, direct mail as well. And with 1 to 2 pieces per past guest household over June and July, we're just experimenting with a variety of different things, to get people to engage, to be able to start thinking more again about booking their 2021 vacation. And as we know, the client with the highest amount of touches, whether it be in a direct mail piece or via phone call or any sort of online campaign, they will continue to drive the highest volume of bookings for your business. So just keep that in mind. Touch points, recency and frequency is something that I always mention to travel partners as far as who your guests are going to be booking with next, because it's no surprise that your guest is probably the part on multiple mailing lists for either OTA sites or other travel agents, and just the fact that recency and frequency, the number of times and how recently you've reached out to your guest, that's going to really impact who they book with next. Also want to point out that we just released on Norwegian Central, which is our booking portal for our travel agent partners. It says that it's coming to Norwegian Central, but I'm happy to point out that it is live as of yesterday. So if you go to Norwegian Central, you can see in the bottom of this blue column here under book, it says FCC Report. So it will show you all of your outstanding future cruise credits that you have for your customers. So you can go in there and start calling them, because those are warm leads. I mean, those give you the opportunity to reach out to your consumers and get them excited about booking their next cruise. So you can see there the FCC report, as I mentioned, down at the bottom. It's a similar structure to the Cruise Next reporting that's already in Norwegian Central. And each login can request the report once per 24 hours. So you can only see FCCs that are tracked back to your agent profile, which is helpful. And then agency admins, whoever is the administrator for your site, can see any FCCs that originated from bookings under that agency. So if you're the agency administrator, you're going to be able to see all the FCCs. If you're an independent contractor, for instance, you're going to be able to see your FCCs as long as your host is using secondary setup. So it's going to include a client name as well as an email, because that allows you to have easy follow-up on those leads. So I just mentioned that. I'm just going to move forward with that. So this just gives you an example of what you're going to see. So you click on that link, you enter your email address and click on Request Report. You will get an Excel spreadsheet that you can then download or preview that includes all of your outstanding FCCs or future cruise credits. So here you can see just an easy to read. Well, it's easy to read to me. Hopefully it's easy to read to you. A spreadsheet that contains all the information that you need. It shows you the FCC amount. It shows you the name, the email address, the original sailing that that guest had that drove that FCC. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Q3 now. As we've moved into Q3, quarter three in July, I think having your guest focus is critical and paramount right now. Utilizing or connecting with those clients and making sure that they understand that they have a future cruise credit that they can utilize by booking with you, and utilize as their deposit, as hopefully their entire payment, maybe partial payment if you're successful in upgrading them, maybe from a ocean view to a balcony. Maybe they had originally had an ocean view scheduled for the last sailing, and because of the bonus FCC that we've provided to them, you can upgrade them into a balcony. I've even had some people who have upgraded from a balcony or mini suite up into the Haven, which if given the opportunity, I think that is definitely something that you would have to encourage. So this was through last week. We currently see anything that had canceled using a Peace of Mind. We've had a 33% redemption to date. So 33% of those guests who had received an FCC have redeemed them. So there's still a lot of future cruise credit out there for you to reach out to your guests and have them book their next vacation. And then anything that was suspended, we've seen about a 50% redemption rate. So again, still a lot of future cruise credits out there. So it's just a matter of reaching out to your guests and seeing how they're doing, seeing if they're looking forward to booking their next vacation for next year, whether it's something that canceled this year or just anticipating something exciting in the future. So we've got, so far we did announce our deployment for through 2023. Not everything I think is out there. We have a few 2023 sailings, but we've got new itineraries that span 7 continents, over 20 new destinations. So these are new destinations that are specific to Norwegian Cruise Line. You can see a few of those highlighted on the slide over there on the right. We're sailing to Antarctica. We're going to be going to Cape Town, doing round trip Cape Town, as well as some new and exciting ports in Asia that Norwegian hasn't sailed to before. So, if you have some time, start taking a look at some of those 21 and 22 destinations that we're sailing to. And then we're targeting our full 2023 and 24 deployment for mid-September, which will include 2023 Alaska, Europe, and Bermuda, as well as summer 2023 through winter 2024 Caribbean. So that will be coming up in sometime around mid-September as we shape things up there. Also, just kind of want to talk about how to connect with your clients. I think it's important to when you're reaching out to them to kind of soften the message and become more sensitive to the fact that people are in different places when it comes to where they're at with regards to deciding to book. We've got a lot of people on the sidelines waiting for that first sailing to happen, waiting for the feedback from that, waiting for the trip reviews to come back to see how people were with the new safety protocols. So I think it's important to get an understanding of where your client's comfort level is now with regards to booking timing, but also that recency and frequency. So just talk to them about it, see what they're interested in. If they're not ready to book now, say, well, maybe I'll reach out to you in a few more weeks, and we can see where things are, and maybe you can provide some of the additional health and safety protocols that are out there. Just get a a general sense of where they are and when they're ready to start booking. So a little bit about NCLU. Hopefully everybody's familiar with Norwegian Cruise Line University. We do have some more courses. We have some core courses out there that help you close more sales and get you more information about the Norwegian Cruise Line, including 30 different electives. You can book your own reduced rate cruises through NCLU. You can download quick reference guides with all the information that I've been sharing with you. We get a little bit more in depth about the health and safety protocols, and as more of those protocols come out, more of those processes come out, we're going to be updating NCLU and all of our information with those new safety protocols. And then you can earn your own CLIA certification credits, which a lot of you do take advantage of. And then you also get access to our private NCLU Student Union Facebook group. There's a lot of engagement and interaction on that group, specifically relating to Norwegian Cruise Line. So here you can see we've got a variety of different NCLU achievement levels. So as you work yourself through the core courses as well as the electives, you can get your bachelor's degree, associate degree, master's degree, and even your PhD, which not only gives you more knowledge and in-depth knowledge as you move up in your degrees, but it also gives you additional CLIA credits as well as additional discounts off of your sailings in order to be able to see and experience Norwegian Cruise Line. So I mentioned briefly our 2021 to 2023 new deployment. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on there. You can see we've opened some new sailings from April 21 through December 22. 20 new destinations over every continent across the planet. So we've got some new Northern Europe, new Africa, and new Antarctica. That's tough to say. New Antarctica as well. So with Africa, we've got another new first for Norwegian Cruise Line. If you're familiar with Norwegian, we have a lot of firsts, including the first to introduce freestyle cruising, the first to have a private island, the first to introduce Wi-Fi on board. And then in this case, it's going to be our first ship in NCL history to offer round-trip cruises from Cape Town, South Africa. So some new destinations that we're able to go to includes Namibia and Mozambique. That will be in the December and January timeframe. So if you've got anybody interested in doing, who are really big fans of Norwegian Cruise Line, who maybe are looking for something different, I think these are some of the itineraries that they might be anticipating. We also have some Northern Europe itineraries as well. So we've got the Norwegian Star. It's going to be the first ship in the fleet to call on Greenland with calls in Nuuk. And I always butcher these, so I'll just say Qaqortoq and then Nortolik, including some round trip sailings to Iceland and Greenland itineraries. And then we'll also be calling on Hamburg for the first time in September. So the Northern European sailings going to Greenland will be in July, the mid and end of July of 2022. And then we've got some back-to-back sailings from Reykjavik, Reykjavik, Iceland as well. And then I mentioned the sailings that we have to Antarctica. So, those will incorporate a trip by the Elephant Island as well as Deception Island. So, lots of new exciting destinations for either of those guests who have sailed on Norwegian and really understand the value of freestyle cruising when it comes to these very scenic sites, or for somebody who just hasn't been to or haven't had the chance to go to Antarctica. We've got some great options for them. So those that winter deployment will be sailing from Buenos Aires in January and February of 22 and February of 22 as well as 23. So if you take a look at Marketing Headquarters, which you can get to through Norwegian Central, we do have a variety of flyers, emails, banner ads, co-op ads, and so on that incorporates all of that information. So if it's just something that you want to have on hand that you can forward to your guests after you reach out to them, because you know that they have a FCC just waiting to book one of these exciting itineraries, make sure you go to Marketing Headquarters first, have those, download those PDFs or those flyers. So when your guest asks for some sort of reference, you can immediately follow up with them and give them an opportunity to kind of pick and choose what exciting itinerary that they want to put that deposit down on. Coming up, we've got some new promotions. So we just finished our PPG promotion, which is our prepaid gratuities. And as of today, we have launched our Double Dash sale, which is up to $200 in free onboard credit, plus the opportunity to get up to 5 free offers. And as you know, this free at sea offer really has valued, has really looked at value over price. This is a promotion that we've had out there for quite a long time. Just because it is so popular. I will let you know that over 70% of the people choose the open bar with one of their options, and over 50% choose specialty dining because of the the freestyle concept that we have in place. Those are two that are very appealing to people. But if you've got somebody on the fence right now, let them know that up to $200 in free onboard credit based on the category that they're booking. And then, as we look forward, we've kind of settled on a 3-week cadence of promotional offers. So this Double Dash sale is going to be from July 22nd to August 11th. And then we've got tentatively scheduled a 20% off promotion starting on August 12th through August 31st. And we'll continue kind of with that 3-week cadence. So that gives you the opportunity to know and understand the promotions that we have in place going forward. So with that, I just want to say, thank you for everybody for joining the webinar today. I know it's been, very challenging for everybody over the past several months. Hopefully, we have been providing you the communication that you've needed to kind of get through these times as we, suspend our sailings. We continue to update our FAQs and our frequently asked questions and our other documentation. Norwegian Central is always the place to go. Reaching out to your business development manager is also, a good way to get information. I know all of our sales team is trying to do as much as they can to make sure that the communication is clear and concise, even though it, is changing from time to time. But everybody, all of our travel partners have a BDM that you can go to. So if you're not aware of who your BDM is, you can always send an email to sales@ncl.com. Just make sure that you incorporate your name and what agency you're with, and if you're a host, let us know that. But we will be more than happy to provide you with your BDM if you don't know who they are. But just I would say let's soldier forward. We need to stay optimistic. I do see some highlights that have been happening over the past several weeks with the successful trials of the vaccinations and some of the things that Europe is doing to open back up, which I think gives everybody hope that we are going to be cruising along with all of our counterparts out there, hopefully sooner rather than later. But with that, I just want to be able to open up to any Q&A that we have. So Anna? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi, I'm so sorry. I was muted. Can you
Oh,
hear me now?
oh, yeah, because last time I did a webinar, it was about halfway through and just all communication was lost. So I was like, oh my God, when did that happen again? No, I hope not. Okay, it didn't. So.
No, so sorry. I was muted. My fault. But we do have a lot of questions coming in. We have some questions about safety on board. So any new procedures that you can speak to, whether it's masks or the crew getting a vaccine when it's available, anything like that that you can speak to, that would be great.
I can't really speak to anything specific at this point. I mean, all of those things, yes, are items that I think are being discussed. The potential of wearing masks on board and quarantining the crew prior to getting on the ships, testing the crew on a continuous and regular basis, social distancing, all things that you've heard about, things that we've had to work with over the past several months, regardless of the situation that we're in, going to a restaurant or being able to go shopping or doing any of those things. Those are all things that, we are looking at going forward. So while, we don't have anything specific and detailed yet, the assumption has to be made that, a lot of those things that people are having to do today as various areas of the country are opening up, will most likely, be happening once we start sailing again. And this is, everything is subject to change. And even when we put out our most recent, health and safety information a couple weeks ago, I'm sure it's changed since then. So, we're going to do the best we can to continue to update as things become finalized, but the finalization of things is not really going to happen until we have a back to sail water. So I'm sorry, a back to sail plan. So when we definitely and definitively know when our ship's going to be back in the water, along with that will come, those published health and safety protocols.
Okay, that makes sense. This next question is from Ramona, who is wondering where the departure point for Africa itineraries is.
The departure point for Africa will be Cape Town. Let me hop back. Maybe I went through that slide a little quick. Let's see here. So the Norwegian Jade is going to be offering round trip cruises from Cape Town, South Africa. So that's going to be in December of 21. Which that includes, or actually it's December and January of 21 and 22, as well as January of 23 on the Norwegian Jade.
Okay, got it. Our next question is from Mary, who is wondering if you think Norwegian will ever offer an air included promotion again.
Mary, that is a good question. Yes, I do think that it will be something that we will incorporate back into our promotional schedule. It was, successful for the time that we did it, and I think, moving forward, and it might not be across all ships, all sailing dates, all destinations, but where it makes sense, I think we do want to incorporate it because it adds a lot of value, I think, for our guests to be able to know that everything is it becomes a more inclusive vacation, right? So when they're air, their cruise, and then obviously with the promotions having their drinks and dining included. So yes, we have talked about it, reintroducing it back on a broader scale, but just hold on, it'll be coming.
Okay, that makes sense. And can you just repeat the email for agents to email if they don't know who their BDM is?
Yes, it's sales, so SALES, sales @ncl.com.
Okay, Perfect. And it looks like those are all of our questions. So thank you so much, Glenn, for all of the wonderful information. And thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Yes. Thanks, everybody. Hope to see you on a ship soon.
Yes. Have a good rest of your week, everyone. Bye.